The Bible tells us that God created the world in just 7 days, beginning with the creation of light on the first day, the separation of the sky and the sea on the second, and the formation of the land and living things on the third. He didn't stop until the seventh day.
Yung climate change, it encompasses global warming. Kasi sa sobrang init, maraming apektado, lalo na po sa ating
I don't want you guys for so many decades.
Before God created us, humans, He provided everything that we needed. But just because we have control over everything, we have a free pass to do whatever we want. Indeed, as the adage goes, with great power comes great responsibility. But we should ask ourselves, are we doing our job? And now, the world faces climate change, a global phenomenon that puts these creations in vulnerability. We've heard stories from class discussions, news, and various social media platforms. But how much do we really know about climate change?
From my understanding, climate change is a long-term change in average weather in this country or in this global.
Climate change po, yung pagbabago ng klima. Tapos paano ako naapektuhan ito? Kapag super init po, masakit sa balat. Tapos kapag yung ulan naman po, minsan binabaha po din sa Marikina. Kaya
Technically, for me, it encompasses global warming, but then it has a broader range and it has a larger impact on people, and especially animals, pati na rin sa plants natin. Ang klima natin, umiinit, minsan ay malamig. I think climate change, mula na rin siya talaga doon, but then lumala lang talaga because people are neglecting yung sinasabi ng scientists sa atin matagal na.
Tungtungan ng June, pag-ulan na talaga. Pag tagulan, mahina ang tubig. Itinda rin ako ng tubig. Pag mainit, paano binta? Maulan, mahina.
What do you think?
first of all, climate change is not a myth. It's a real and imminent threat that we all need to face head-on. This phenomenon refers to long-term changes in temperatures and weather patterns all over the world that happen because of greenhouse gases released in the air. But what exactly are greenhouse gases? Greenhouse gases are gases that accumulate in the atmosphere and form a layer that traps heat, preventing it from escaping back into space. Some examples of greenhouse gases are carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, hydrochlorofluorocarbons, and hydrofluorocarbons.
It wasn't until recently, with the rise of social media and the tireless efforts of activists, that the world began to take notice.
Increased drought, loss of species, and not enough.
Critical questions we must ask ourselves are, what is the root cause of climate change? How does it affect us? And what can we do about it? Some argue that climate change is a natural occurrence that has been happening for centuries, while others believe that human activities are the main cause of it. So is climate change normal, or are we causing it?
Syempre no,
Hindi po.
it's not normal because we should experience weather na appropriate sa at ngayon, kunyari May, we should experience summer pa rin, ganyan, but then we experience this summer for like a lot of months, and if we ever experience yung rainy season na ganyan, hindi dapat siya yung random lang na moments na mangyayari, kasi meron talagang months na nandoon talaga yung rainy season. Para sa akin, hindi siya normal kasi sa sobrang init, maraming apektado, lalo na po sa matatanda na may high blood. Sobrang init, kailangan natin ng maraming tubig at laging mag-iingat.
Do you think is climate change normal?
Having greenhouse gases in the atmosphere is normal because it helps keep Earth warm. The Earth has gone through warming and cooling phases in the past, long before humans were around. However, humans are now emitting too much of these gases like carbon dioxide and methane, which trap heat and cause the temperature to fluctuate faster. This acceleration of climate change caused by our activities needs to be addressed to avoid disastrous events to occur.
Many people crying. Many people say, help, help.
Undoubtedly, the impact of our activities on the planet has been profound. We have polluted our oceans, disseminated our forests, and relied too much on fossil fuels to power societies. Even our lifestyles have an impact on our planet because of how we use power at home. What we eat or consume and throw away contributes to greenhouse gas emissions. As a result, our planet is heating up much faster, which causes the environment to degrade. Sea levels are rising and extreme weather conditions are becoming the new normal. There has been an increase in severe storms, drought, wildfires, and the extinction of countless species. The responsibility for this devastation lies squarely on our shoulders, and yet, for decades, we have turned a blind eye to this problem. In the end, it is the vulnerable communities who suffer the most from climate change.
Moreover, climate change has far-reaching and complex impacts across a range of sectors and fields. Economically, climate change can lead to losses in income and livelihood as extreme weather events such as flooding or drought impact crop production and damage critical infrastructure such as roads or power plants. From a geopolitical perspective, climate change worsens existing tensions between nations as they compete for dwindling resources and struggle with the impacts of migration spurred by climate disasters. From the perspective of biology, climate change can lead to species loss, ecosystem decline, and significant impacts on human health, as changing weather patterns exacerbate the spread of disease and pollution. Meteorologically, climate change can bring in hotter temperatures, more frequent and intense storms, and rising sea levels, leading to widespread devastation and loss, particularly in vulnerable communities. In short, climate change is a global challenge with diverse and widespread impacts and may have long-term implications for humanity and the Earth as a whole.
While natural climate change occurs, human-induced climate change is the most significant threat to our planet today. It is crucial for us to take collective action to reduce our carbon footprint and find alternative sources of energy to mitigate climate change. The future of our planet depends on our ability to recognize the severity of climate change and take action to adjust it.
They could harm my children and us as well.
That is why we are advocating for climate change, an advocacy which is about creating a movement that demands change, a movement that will not be silenced until we secure a sustainable future for ourselves and our planet.
There are a lot of ways to mitigate the fast-paced change of climate, but they heavily lie in education, awareness, and action. By educating ourselves and others on the facts and science behind climate change, we can understand the magnitude of the problem and its urgency. We need to be aware of the impact of our actions have on the environment, from the food that we eat to the products that we buy. More importantly, mitigating climate change requires action. We can conserve energy by turning off lights and electronics, switching to renewable resources or supporting them, and saving water. We are encouraging everyone to use sustainable transportation like biking or public transportation as much as possible. We shouldn't also forget to recycle, reduce single-use plastic, use minimal packaging products, and go for reusable options. It all helps cut down waste. Trust me, every little bit counts.
SCS is an extensive field that looks at how science, technology, and society all connect. It helps us understand climate change by considering the social, cultural, political, and technological aspects of the issue. First is the concept called technological determinism. It means that technology can play a major role in fighting climate change through renewable energy, resilient infrastructure, and ICT-driven awareness. Plus, analyzing data and using models can help us make smart decisions for dealing with climate change. Next, we have the science policy interface. It's all about how science and policy decisions work together. This is important because we need scientific information to shape our climate policies. It can be a challenge to take what scientists find and turn it into action, but luckily, they are actively working on it. Lastly is the historical analysis of SCS. This one looks at how science and technology have developed over time. It helps us understand why climate change is happening now by looking at aspects of industrialization, colonialism, and consumer culture. Knowing history can help us figure out how to tackle the problem. Definitely, by applying SCS concepts, we can get a deeper understanding of climate change and come up with better ways to deal with it.
11-month-old Anthony is blissfully unaware how lucky he is to be alive. During the storm, Jean-Lynn Manicksock sat her son on her head to keep him above the water level while she held on to the roof rafters.
Overall, climate change is the single biggest health threat facing humanity. While no one is safe from the health impacts of climate change, they are felt by the most vulnerable and disadvantaged. Many of the world's biggest challenges, from poverty to wildlife extinction, are made more difficult by climate change.
Students like us will eventually enter different fields and face real-life problems. How can our knowledge help in fighting against the possible irreversible effects of climate change?
My course is Bachelor of Science in Food Technology. Sa course kasi namin, not only na ina-ensure namin yung food security or yung pagiging sapat ng pagkain sa lahat ng tao, ina-ensure din namin na yung mga waste, yung mga food waste, hindi sila parang nagiging waste lang, as in na parang instead na pwede pa silang makain, ganyan, tinatapon na sila. So, ang nangyayari kasi sa mga food waste is hindi lang sila nakakadagdag sa kalat, pero meron din kasi silang negative effects sa environment. So, as a food tech student, or in the future kung maging food technologist man ako, siguro yun yung isa sa mga pwede namin tutukan na mabawasan yung food waste.
Siguro po yung course na economics, makakatulong siya sa pag-alleviate ng climate change sa pamamagitan ng pagkontrol ng economic policies na pinapatupad natin sa mga bansa. Kasabay nung mga economic policy na yon, kailangan hindi rin naiiwan yung mga conservation law na nilalapag natin sa mga resources natin na which is limited. Kung kailangan natin ng sabay na urbanization na walang naiiwan, kailangan natin i-align yung policies sa mga resources natin na meron pa tayo ngayon.
Truly, our planet is in a tremendous crisis, and education is one solution. With diverse college courses tailored for addressing climate change, environmental courses that reveal nature's intricacy, engineering classes developing smarter ways to cut down greenhouse emissions, business modules pushing sustainable practices on all fronts, or even social science lessons incorporating communication methods that nudge people towards climate action. Integrating their different perspectives, we can work together to create a sustainable future for ourselves and future generations. By providing students with the knowledge and skills to develop sustainable solutions, they can collectively make a difference, empowering them to become informed and responsible global citizens.
Remember, the fight against climate change starts with each one of us. Now, more than ever, we need to stand up and fight for the future of our planet. When we advocate for climate change, we're declaring that we won't sit idly by and watch as our planet suffers. Let's take a stand against climate change by taking action and demanding that our leaders to do the same.
The world is changing at an unprecedented rate.
And if we don't act now, we will face catastrophic consequences.
Every little step towards sustainability counts.
And together, we can make a significant contribution
Towards building a greener and safer future for generations to come.